The line, Saudi Arabia. As climate change accelerates, many Middle Eastern countries are attempting to transition from carbon-based economies to alternatives that attract people from all over the world for tourism, business, work, or residence. One example is the NEOM project. The NEOM project includes an airport, a shipping port, industrial areas, research facilities, sports and entertainment venues, and tourist attractions. Want to know more? Stick till the end of the video to find out more. What is the Line project? The Line is a proposed smart linear city in NEOM Tabuk, Saudi Arabia, with no cars, streets, or carbon emissions. The city is part of the Saudi Vision 2030 project, which the Saudi government claims will create 380,000 jobs and add $48 billion to the country's GDP. The Line is intended to be the first phase of NEOM, a $500 billion project. The city's plans call for a population of 9 million people. Excavation work had begun along the entire length of the project as of October 2022. The project has been criticized for its impact on the environment and the local population and its technological and economic viability. When completed, the line will span 170 kilometers and protect 95% of NEOM's natural environment. On the Hejaz Railway, it stretches from the Red Sea to the city of Tabuk. It's expected to have a population of 9 million, resulting in a population density of 260,000 per square kilometer. In comparison, Manila was the world's most densely populated city in 2019, with a population density of 44,000 people per square kilometer. The line's design consists of two mirrored buildings separated by outdoor space, with a total width of 200 meters and a total height of 500 meters. This would make it the country's third tallest structure after the Abraj Al Bayt clock tower and the proposed Jeddah Tower, and the world's 12th tallest structure. Nodes will be established throughout the city. All daily services are intended to be within a 5-minute walk. The city will also be entirely powered by renewable energy. The line will have 3 layers, one for pedestrians on the surface, one for infrastructure underground, and another for transportation underground. The transportation layer will include a high-speed rail system that will allegedly allow people to travel from one side of the town to the other in 20 minutes. This would necessitate an average speed of 512 kilometers per hour, which is faster than any existing high-speed rail at the time of the announcement. Its history. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman announced the plan for the line in a presentation on state television on January 10, 2021. The first residents were expected to move in during 2024, after initial earthwork began in October 2021. The project's first phase is scheduled to be completed in 2030 as of July 2022. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who also serves as chairman of the NEOM Board of Directors, issued a statement and promotional video on July 25, 2022, resulting in increased media coverage of the project. This also raised concerns about the design's merits and environmental issues, with critics concerned that the project would create a dystopian and artificial facility that would displace the Huaytat indigenous tribe and disrupt bird and wildlife migration. Construction on the line began in October 2022, according to drone footage released by OT Sky, with extensive excavation works taking place along the entire length of the project. What has been happening in recent times? According to an interview with the Zine, Princeton University Associate Professor Marshall Brown believes that such large-scale urban planning as the line, as well as the conditions required to achieve the slick futuristic aesthetic in the concept art, are highly impractical due to a large number of factors at play. C40 Cities' Helene Chartier compared it to other unrealized linear city projects, such as Soria's 1882 design and a 1965 proposal for a linear settlement in New Jersey. While Dutch architect Winnie Maas stated that he would love to live in such an environment, he described the concept art's profile as monotonous and conducive to unfavorable wind flow through the intermediate space. Nevertheless, he praised the overall concept for dealing with densification and heat regulation within cities. Regarding the quality of life, Philip Oldfield of the University of New South Wales believes that the actual quality of life is more likely determined by how well managed the city is rather than its visual appeal. However, Oldfield criticized the project's carbon footprint of approximately 1.8 gigatons of CO2 equivalent in glass, steel, and concrete, claiming that you cannot build a 500-meter tall building out of low-carbon materials. According to Oldfield, the 170-kilometer profile would create a large-scale barrier to adjacent ecosystems and migratory species, similar to highways, and the mirrored exterior facade would be hazardous to birds in particular, due to arrangements that distort consent to sharing data in Saudi Arabia's poor human rights records. Digital rights researchers such as Vincent Mosco have characterized the city's data collection scheme as tantamount to a surveillance city. In response, Joseph Bradley stated that the NEOM coordinators are working to resolve privacy concerns and that Saudi Arabia has a personal data protection law. Aside from the merits of the proposed city, the Saudi government's actions in pursuing the project have been scrutinized. Shadli Ibrahim and Ataullah al-Huwaiti of the Huwaitat tribe were sentenced to death in October 2022 for refusing to leave their village as part of the NEOM megaproject. Shadli al-Huwaiti is the brother of Abdul Rahim al-Huwaiti, who was killed by security forces in April 2020 in his home in Al-Kariba in the Tabuk province after posting videos on social media posing the displacement of local residents to make way for the project. Environmental and community impact. The line aspires to be zero emissions. Energy is derived from renewable resources. Green hydrogen generates export revenue. Wastewater is recycled, and cutting-edge smart city technologies and mixed-use buildings are incorporated. Car ownership is being phased out in favor of walking, cycling, and public transportation. However, the materials and construction of such a massive project could produce a lot of pollution. According to the concept, no one would be more than 2 minutes away from nature. In other words, the urban edge at ground level. But does this account for the time it takes to get a lift? A high reliance on vertical transportation may stymie hopes for truly walkable or bicycle-friendly precincts if not carefully designed. The line could be built in modules, but it is unclear whether these would correspond to neighborhoods. And will individuals, businesses, and other entities have creative control over how their designs are expressed, or will the entire city look similar? Independent expression of build form is inherent in traditional cities, but it may be impossible with such a rigid structure as the line. This begs the question of whether people will warm to it. Creating and maintaining a vision. The line was supposed to be finished by 2025 to revolutionize urban living. It remains to be seen whether such a complex megacity can be completed so quickly, as construction has yet to begin in earnest. The line promises that it will be based on human experience, that there will be progressive laws, and that healthcare will promote individual empowerment. However, as new migrants bring their values, it may be difficult to maintain this vision. A nation-building project. The line appears to be a massive nation-building exercise. Its planned population of 9 million represents a 25% increase over Saudi Arabia's current population of 35 million. The line's marketing strategy focuses on environmental stability, technology, luxury, and professional lifestyles, innovation, and a strategic location. This implies that its planners and designers intend to create a unique and exemplary urban development that will quickly transition Saudi Arabia to a post-carbon future. All of the elements are in place to accomplish this. However, from a planning and construction standpoint, it will necessitate enormous willpower, financial heft, and capability. The project costs appear to be reasonable at $55,000 per resident. Assume that this is only possible in a country with much lower employment costs than developed economies and that it only relates to infrastructure. Even so, it remains to be seen how ultra-high-speed transit and cutting-edge infrastructure and services can be cost-effectively integrated into the world's largest building. The linear design that underpins the line is not a novel concept. In 1882, the Spanish urban planner Arturo Soria y Mata proposed the concept of a linear city. By incorporating infrastructure such as water, electricity, gas, and transportation along a narrow, linear urban corridor, this concept enabled significant efficiencies in infrastructure. The design's central tenet was to ruralize the city and urbanize the countryside. This idea is echoed in the line. However, one has to wonder about the effects on the countryside. How would a continuous 500-meter-high mirrored barrier reflecting desert heat and light spanning 170 kilometers affect local biodiversity? The line appears to follow an east-west axis. This may be optimal for solar thermal management, but it will most likely cast long shadows in the middle of winter, and it remains to be seen whether the line will be able to attract the residents it requires to succeed. That's all for today. Please leave a like if you found this video helpful and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment down below if you have any questions.